5.4 is the distributive property. The distributive property states that to multiply a sum or difference by a number, multiply each term inside the parentheses by the number outside the parentheses. Below I have a little cartoon, and this is the way that I always describe the distributive property. I think it helps people to remember it. So basically, the way I explain it is, if you were to bring cupcakes, let's say if I were to bring cupcakes to class and I were to only give the cupcakes to the girls, how do you think the boys would feel? So I give the cupcakes to the girls. How do you think the boys would feel? They would be left out. They would be very sad and think that Miss Kuckelman hated boys. So I have to also give cupcakes to the boys. So when you have something on the outside, you distribute it to everything on the inside. So if I were to bring cupcakes to class, I'd bring to the girls and to the boys that are inside of the class. Number 1, 8 here is my cupcake, -9 is like the girls, and 4 is like the boys. So I have 8, and I have to give it to everybody inside. So 8 times -9 is -72, and 8 times 4 is 32. And -72 plus 32 is -40. Here we get a little bit trickier. We have a variable involved, so we take 4 and distribute it to everything inside. And 4 times x is just 4x plus 4 times 7 is 28. This is where I have a lot of people will want to add these numbers together. They cannot be added together, so I just circle this. That is my answer. Number 3, we have a negative on the outside times the quantity of p minus 5. Now, we went over this pretty hardcore the other day about what a negative on the outside just by itself would mean. That would be like a -1, and I would suggest, at least while you're getting started on this, that you rewrite it with a -1 just to help you. And then I'd add the opposite. Take -1 times p, and that's -1p or -p, plus, and then take -1 times -5, and -1 times -5 is a +5. -p and 5 cannot be added together, so you just circle it, and that's my answer. Number 4, I have -2 times the quantity of x minus 8, so I add the opposite, and I have x plus -8, so I take -2 times x, which is -2x, and then I take -2 times -8, and a negative times a negative equals a positive, so I have -2 plus 16. They cannot be combined, so I circle it, and I am finished. Number 5, I'm going to distribute that 5 to everything inside. So I take 5 times -3x, and that is -15x, plus 5 times 7y. 5 times 7 is 35, so it's 35y. And x and y cannot be combined because they don't have the same variable. We'll go over that in more detail. I think it's tomorrow, actually. But until then, for now, you just need to know that if they don't have the same variable, they cannot be added together. So we just circle it, and that's our answer. Okay, number 6, I have 1/3 times the quantity of x minus 6. Whenever it's subtraction, I don't think I clarified this earlier. Whenever it's subtraction, I always add the opposite, just so that I can see that that's a -6 I'm dealing with. It makes it much more clear to work with. So I have 1/3 times x, which gives me 1/3 x, plus 1/3 times -6, which is -6/3. Or you could do that in your head, and that is 1/3 x plus -6 divided by 3 is -2. These cannot be added together, so I just circle it, and that's my answer. 3A, Mr. Ito needs to buy batting helmets for the baseball team. The helmets he plans to buy are $19.95 each. Find the total cost if Mr. Ito needs to buy 9 batting helmets for the team. This always makes me laugh that this is in with distributive property. They need 9 batting helmets, and they're $19.95 each. So we use distributive property of multiplication, and we just take 9 times 1995. Then I multiply those together, and I have 179.55. So it's $179.55. 3B, 15 students are buying t-shirts that cost $10.60 each. Use the distributive property to find the total cost of t-shirts. Again, I think it's very odd, but they just want you to know that you can set it up like this, which we already know that this is multiplication, so I guess we're just ahead of the game, but that's what the book wants you to know, is that you can take this and multiply it, and 15 times 1060 would give you $159.